dreaming up ideas for a cozy, creative kids room, you're in the right place. I just moved into a new home and I'm transforming the grandkids' bedroom into the cutest woodland themed nursery you've ever seen. And the best part, I'm going to do it with all thrifted finds and things that I already have. And this makeover is full of charm and budget-friendly ideas. First things first, we've got a bunch of holes in the wall to fill before we can even think about painting. That's step 1 on the project list. And I'm also painting all of our interior doors black, and there's still one left to do on the other side of the room, so that's also on a to-do list. I found the cutest woodland theme wallpaper from Rocky Mountain Decals, and I knew it would be perfect for this room. I brought a sample to our local hardware store to find the perfect paint to go with it. It took me a while to decide. There were so many great options, but finally I landed on this beautiful yellow called Tropical Dreams. And just look at this color. It's warm, it's cheerful, and I think it's really going to complement that wallpaper perfectly. We'll be using Beauty Tone Velvet in the shade Tropical Dreams, and I can't wait to show you this color with the wallpaper on the walls. If you're loving this color as much as I am, I got you covered. I'll add all the details down in the description, and I'll pop the paint chip up right here so you can screenshot it if you want to try it out in one of your own rooms. The painting is done. I'm in love with it. It's fun, it's whimsical, it's exactly what I was trying to achieve for the grandbaby's bedroom. And it's really going to complement the wallpaper. So today's job is getting wallpaper on this wall. We got lots of work. Let's get started. Again, we're using this beautiful wallpaper from Rocky Mountain, and I'll put the link to their website down below in the description. The quality is fantastic and the pattern is absolutely gorgeous. And what I really love is how easy they make it to install. Each panel is clearly numbered at the top, so you know exactly where it goes on the wall. That means less guessing, less waste, and a much smoother overall process. There's just something about putting up wallpaper that I love. It instantly transforms a space and it adds so much character. And this one was such a breeze to work with. It lined up beautifully and it went on straight with hardly any effort. This also went up way faster than I expected, and honestly, it already feels like a totally different room. I'm glad I went with this wallpaper. It's got just the right vibe, and now I'm actually excited to tackle the rest of this space. It's absolutely adorable. I love it. If you have it in your budget, spend the money on good quality wallpaper. There's no comparison. So much easier to hang and better quality. You can wipe it down. This wallpaper from Rocky Mountain is absolutely fantastic. I've never hung wallpaper that has been this easy to put the first sheet on. So we have lots of work. We're gonna keep going right along the wall here. The last sheet is up and I'm in love. It's gorgeous. Between the yellow paint, the black interior doors, and that white trim, it's exactly what I pictured for this space. Now it's time to pull it all together. I need to add a few decor pieces. So we're gonna head to the thrift store and see what I can find. I was just looking for a few little decor pieces to help style the room, and look what I found, this sweet little reindeer. It was actually in the Christmas section, but I think it works perfectly for this woodland theme. Plus, I needed a clock for the room, and this one totally fits the vibe, and it was super affordable, so it's going in the cart. And then I spotted this little owl, and technically it's a candle holder, but it's got that fun, whimsical look that I'm going for in the kids' room. And then around the corner, can you believe it? I found these curtains for $7.99 for the pair, and they match the wallpaper almost exactly. There were only 2 panels, and I probably need 4, but we're gonna make it work because the match is just too good to pass up. I also grabbed some pillow shams that match one of the birds in the wallpaper and a couple of pillowcases that tie in with the bedding. All were affordable, super finds that are going to really pull this space together. Instead of buying new curtain rods, I decided to repurpose the ones that were already in the room. They just needed a little refresh, so I took them down to the basement and I gave them a coat of matte black spray paint. And once they're fully dry, they were good to go, and we're going to rehang them. And it was a way to save a bit of money too. As for the little reindeer and the owl, I had some yellow spray paint in my stash and I thought it might tie in nicely with the walls. But after a couple coats, it just wasn't working. The shade was off and I didn't really like the look of it. So I switched gears and I painted them black instead. And honestly, much better. It's clean, it's simple, and it ties in with the trim and the doors. I had a bit of wallpaper left over, so I started keeping an eye out for a frame that I could use it in. And then when I spotted this one, I knew it was going to be perfect for the project that I had in mind. The frame itself was a bit rough, scratched up, and it was a little dinged, but nothing I can't fix with paint. And I'm going to use the same black paint I used on the doors to tie everything together. The flat surface on top is perfect for adding a piece of that leftover wallpaper, which is exactly what I had in mind. My current favorite black paint is Limousine Leather by Behr, and it's such a rich, deep black, and I'm kind of obsessed with it right now. Honestly, everything I own is slowly getting painted with this color, so we're going to give that frame a quick refresh and pull all of this together. The frame took 2 coats of black paint, and now we're ready to use some of that leftover wallpaper. I didn't have much left, but I definitely did not want it to go to waste. So I picked out a section with that little deer, and it's one of my favorite parts of the design. So I'm going to cut it down to size and stick it right onto that panel in the center of the frame. This kind of project is perfect for scraps like this, so if you ever have any leftover wallpaper, keep an eye out for frames or flat surfaces you can upcycle. It's such a fun way to tie everything together and make some custom decor for your space. Since this is peel and stick wallpaper, it's going to adhere really well to the surface. I did give the front of the frame a quick wipe down with some hot soapy water, first just to make sure there was no dust or grime getting in the way, and then I just pressed the wallpaper on just like you would on a wall, smoothing out any bubbles or wrinkles, and honestly, it's just turning out so cute. Once I had the wallpaper stuck down nice and smooth, I grabbed a sharp X-Acto knife and I trimmed along the edges to get that clean, straight line. I wanted it to look like it was always meant to be there. The trick here is make sure you have a fresh blade that makes all the difference for a crisp cut. I found this little kids craft table at the thrift store for just $7.99 a while back, and it's solid wood. The top was looking a little bit tired though, so I figured why not give it a bit of that wallpaper treatment too. I had some left over, so I took it downstairs and I gave the top a good scrub with some cleaner to get any grease and grime off it, and lucky me, I had just enough wallpaper left to cover the surface of that table. So we're going to do the same thing that we did with the frame. Stick it down, smooth it out, and it turned into something really sweet for the room. Just like with the frame, make sure you're using a sharp blade to cut a nice crisp line along the table. This adds so much character to what would have been just a plain wooden table. It's going to turn it into something fun and unique for the kids to use and to craft, or just to play on. Now, if we had just left the wallpaper as is on top of this little table, it probably wouldn't hold up, especially with the kids crafting on it. So I grabbed my polyacrylic sealer and I gave it a few coats to protect the surface. I'm using a water-based polyacrylic sealer in semi-gloss finish, and I made sure to let each coat dry fully before adding the next one. I also used a foam roller so it would go on nice and smooth, and don't worry if you get a few little air bubbles. Just give it a light sanding with a fine 220 grit sandpaper, wipe it down, and roll on another coat. In the end, I did 3 coats to give this little table a durable, wipeable finish that's going to stand up to a lot of use. Now we're going to upcycle this little clock I also found at the thrift store. I'm using that same limousine leather paint from Behr that I used on the picture frames and the doors, and it's just going to tie everything all in together. I'm taking my time. We're going to carefully paint around the edges. It's probably going to take 2 or 3 coats to get that rich, deep black finish that I'm going for. I went digging through my stash looking for another picture frame to add to the wall, and I found this one. I had made it a while ago with my Cricut, and I added a vinyl quote on the glass, and the background was just an old painting mat I'd used for crafting. I had decided to switch it up and use the last little bit of wallpaper in the back of the frame instead, and I laid that mat down on the wallpaper until I found the perfect spot to cut. There was a sweet little bunny in the pattern, and I knew that I wanted to make that the focal point of this frame. Once I had it cut to size and I popped it into the frame, I decided to paint the frame black as well, so it's going to match everything else and pull that whole look together. It turned absolutely adorable, and I was glad that I was able to upcycle this frame that I just had tucked away in my closet without having to go and buy anything new. I also thrifted this frame, which was a great find for $7.99. It needed a little refresh, so I gave it a coat of that same limousine leather paint to help tie everything together with the rest of the room. Now it's time to start styling the room. I'm placing the little armchair in the corner, and I think it's going to be a perfect little cozy spot for snuggles and reading books. I found it at the thrift store for just $10.99, so of course it came home with me. And this little end table is something I upcycled recently using a piece of scrapbooking paper on top. I actually have the full video for that project, and I'll link that down below in the description if you want to check it out. As for the bed, both the kids have transitioned out of cribs and are sleeping on a mattress on the floor now. So I tucked a double mattress into the corner, and we'll style it up with some cozy bedding I already had on hand. This little hutch used to be in my kitchen at the old house, and I'm not changing the color because I love how it looks next to the wallpaper. And we're going to hang up that black mirror just above it. I added our framed vinyl Cricut quote with the woodland wallpaper underneath, right beside the door. I love how it peeks through the background and it has a nice little fun quote on the front with the black frame. Finally, the clock is going to go up above the armchair. I think it's a perfect little touch. And it's practical too. It helps us keep track of when it's nap time or bedtime for the grandbabies while they're playing away. Now we're adding that big statement wallpaper print to the other side of the room. I'm so happy I was able to use those leftover scraps with no waste at all, and it fits perfectly in this little corner, and it really ties everything together. All right, right, here's the big reveal. Everything kind of got tossed in here when we first moved in, and here's how it all came together. It turned into the most adorable little space for my grandbabies to play, rest, nap, or have sleepovers. And I've added a little slide at the end of the bed, which they absolutely love. I've hung the curtains just using one panel on each side. It's not perfect, but it works for now, and I think they actually look pretty cute. I've added a toy chest for them to tuck away their treasures and a cozy little play fort where they can snuggle up with a pillow or a book and take their toys in or do a puzzle. I've added faux plants in the corner next to that framed print, plus a little wicker stand I thrifted ages ago. I've brought in lots of faux greenery throughout this room to make it feel fresh and playful. Of course, no real plants in here. That little hutch on the other side was actually in my kitchen too at our old house, and it fits so well in this space for them to have all of their books displayed and a little storage underneath. Framed quote is one that I made years ago and I still love it. It feels just right hanging above the bed. And the two little decor pieces on either side of the mirror were thrifted finds, just $7.99 each. I tucked a little wicker basket under the dresser, which works perfectly for stashing extra toys. And you can see that that single curtain panel, honestly, it works just fine for now, and it does a good job at blocking out the sun when they're napping during the day. Our little reindeer dressed up with some greenery. It looks so sweet, nestled in with all those Dr. Seuss books the kids love. And the little owl, he's just sitting on top, and it just adds a touch of whimsy to that space. The craft table we made using that leftover wallpaper turned out to be the perfect little spot for coloring or Play-Doh or flipping through a book, and it's such a cozy and creative area for them. I hope you enjoyed this little woodland theme kids room makeover. I had so much fun pulling it all together, and the grad kids absolutely love it. So thanks so much for watching, and I hope you're leaving with a little bit of inspiration for your own space. If you love this transformation, I think you're really going to enjoy the bathroom makeover I did, and I'll link it down below. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.